Hair loss quick fixes, why they fall every time. Ladies and gentlemen, that's today's topic here at the Hair Wire. And welcome, guys. Welcome to the Hair Wire, the place where you, my friends, get hair smart. I'm your host, Sergio Cardona, alongside with Carrie, Jerry, Bissan, Dipsy. Hey, guys, how you doing?
Well, we were having a dispute before we started the show right now. I was eating a shawarma, and Sergio insisted that it is a burrito, and Carrie insisted it's just a crepe. So, my Mediterranean food lovers, come on. A shawarma is a shawarma. A burrito is different.
I'd say a gyro, a crepe, a shawarma. They all burritos. I mean, the whole wrap thing, you know.
No, it's a shawarma. It's different.
It's different.
No.
All right, we'll figure it out.
Yes.
What? Hey, guys, please comment on the video if you believe that whatever is wrap is a burrito-like type of food. So either shawarma, either gyro, either a crepe, either different types of burrito. You know what it is that you call it those things. You know, I say if it's a wrap thing, I said it's a burrito.
No, it's a sandwich if it's wrapped. No, burrito is a burrito. A burrito with rice and beans.
How people call it? If it's a wrap, how you call it a sandwich? I don't get it.
Sandwich.
A panini.
It's a wrap thing.
No, that's now we were talking about Italian now. No.
Hey, today we're talking about quick fixes and why they don't work every time. I mean, it's incredible how come you're facing with hair loss and you definitely want to tackle onto it, and you want to do something special for your hair. You want to keep it, you want to be able to grow it back. You're desperate because you're suffering. You're seeing every day, what's happening. Every time you brush your hair, every time you wash it, tons of hair. You go with the vacuum cleaner at your house and you see tons of hair. Even your vacuum cleaner gets stuck. And sometimes, have you ever had that? Have you seen that, Carrie? Biz, you're using your vacuum cleaner and it gets stuck because of the bunch of hair.
You should ask Carl. He'll give you a whole conversation about it.
Oh,
jeez. Yes. He'll be in the shower and he'll make the Chewbacca call. He's like, Chewbacca was here. Yeah.
I mean, we here in my house, we use tiles, so it's the rumble thing. The robot would get stuck with hair and stuff like that. I mean, it's happening all over the houses. So you definitely want to tackle that out. You definitely want to stop the shedding. You want to keep your hair, but unfortunately, quick fixes don't make a quick fix at all. Now, why is it? Why is it that quick fixes are not a solution? And even though we tried and didn't, we understand that the best thing that we can do is go visit a trichologist and have a consultation and do things the easy way. But we are so hard-headed sometimes that we just don't. And we do things differently. Why is that? Carrie, walk us through this experience as people go into your chair and they talk to you about the things that they want to accomplish with their hair, yet they're not willing to take the necessary steps. Why is that?
I don't know. We're in such a quick fix culture where everything is so quick and complicated. And, it's not a one size fits all world. And the thing is people expect to have what Susie Q is having and what Johnny Q is having because it worked for them. And then they get upset because it didn't work for them. And, it's the quick fix. It just does not work, and we complicate it. And sometimes it's the simplest thing. And I don't know if it's like a competition, be like, what was more complicated than the other person? I don't know. It's funny. I get that all the time, especially my practice. Sometimes it was simply just adding water to your diet, but people like to spend the money and pay for something that is not the issue. So I don't know. It's just it's the North American way, I think. Canada and the US are bad for this. I have clients all over the world, Poland, Russia, Australia, that talk to me, and they get it. But I find it's us here in Canada and the United States, and we're just like, we like it complicated. I don't know why.
Why we do it?
And we want the quick fix, and we're giving them the quick fix, but then they still want to complicate it. I don't get it. Can't win.
So tell us what your take on this. Why is it people complicate things?
Yeah, it's just because in a way that we live in this society now where like even my client said that before. I saw that on TikTok, and I was like, that's not gonna work. It's like, so she will be, or like some people will be able to believe something on TikTok. It's just because our brains are wired right now differently. Our brains are wired to the truth is coming from trend. That trends is not always the truth. Trends are not reality. Trends are just some bubble that it looks fancy and it looks good at the moment, but it's not actually a real life fix, or like it's not the truth. So in any case, how I look at it when people ask me, no, I don't wanna go through, like, why you're asking me about my gut? Why you're asking me about my diet? It's like, because they're all related. If a person tells you, oh, you have hair loss and I have the fix for you, I know maybe it will be cheaper than seeing a trichologist, maybe like $100 serum they will give you. But believe me, on the long run, you will be paying more and more than $100 a month for a serum. Because when you do have, let me talk about this. When do you have a hair loss problem, that means you have an imbalance inside your body. Mm-hmm. And I know hair loss is devastating and very emotionally, and we should fix it in a way, because this is my job and I'm a trichologist. But if you have a hair loss, you have a deeper problem. And I would, as a healthcare professional, I would like to fix the inside problem so I can fix your hair loss. And fixing the inside problem first is better for your health, for your mental health, for your physical health. And guess what? The hair loss is going to be fixed just as a bonus, right? So when a person gives you $100 worth of serum, and it's like, yeah, I'm going to just buy this $100 worth of serum, and I'm not going to buy besides $1,000 treatment plan. I'm just saying a number, $1,000 treatment plan. You know what? You're going to pay this $100 100 times, versus you're going to pay a trichologist that treatment plan that's going to fix the root cause of the problem, and you will never pay any penny after that. This is the difference between a quick fix and fixing the root cause. In the beginning, it's going to look for you cheaper, but believe me, it's way more expensive, and your body is going to suffer even more, because the root cause, what's happening inside your body, is not getting fixed.
Yeah. The thing is, you talk about something that drives a lot of people's minds when they're deciding about the treatment plan is their economics. And of course, maybe I have $20 now that I can spend, that I can invest into my hair, but is it good investment at this point, or should I just wait a little bit longer and, gather the money to go and see a professional and get an actual consultation and get real solutions? Because that's the problem with people nowadays. We see hair loss, and I mean, not we, but people, we see hair loss as something so trivial, something so common. And we believe, and I say we believe, as we people, we believe that, it's just a fade. It's going to pass. I'm having hair loss. I'm going to get my hair back, or it's going to be gone in just a few moments. And, don't realize that hair loss situations need to be treated, need to be corrected. They need to be, first of all, be evaluated, be assessed by a professional. Now, one of the things that we're seeing nowadays is a trend, and we see many of our colleagues in the beauty industry, they're buying this Japanese head massage things, and they're wonderful. I mean, they're a great service, but are they a solution to hair loss? That's something that we need to ask ourselves. Are they addressing a issue, a culprit to hair loss? I mean, I have to say that I use this type of services as one of my many tools inside a treatment plan, but it is not a solution. Same thing goes whenever people talk about minoxidil, when people talk about many other things. And nowadays, you see that, for instance, people without the proper training, they are buying scopes and they're doing hair analysis. What do you think about that, Carrie? Take it easy. Take it easy. Take it easy.
Trying to find the correct words to say it.
It's concerning. Very concerning.
Good word. I love the positivity.
Yeah, it's very concerning. I get the enthusiasm behind it, absolutely.
Exactly.
But there's a lot of misinformation out there, and I find that there's such a divide in all the information out there, and that's essentially also why we created the Hair Wire, is to bridge that gap and bring the collective community together. And we, the disconnection between cosmetology, dermatology, and general practice is a huge gap, and that's the whole point of Trichology and the Hair Wire. But then you also have these other people who never got the answers because they didn't know the bridges to cross, and now are creating all of these new avenues and creating all this new information, but there's still missed information, which is concerning.
Yeah. And unfortunately, whenever you go to someone who isn't properly trained, I mean, they took a seminar, a 4-hour seminar, and now they're experts,
or they're an expert in their own body, and people forget it's not a one size fits all world. So the story, it may have worked for them or for someone they know, but just because it worked for Basan doesn't mean it's going to work for me. Doesn't mean it worked for me. Doesn't mean it's going to work for Sergio. And people forget that. We are all different. But general practice here has also made it that way. Like when we go for blood work, it's a general, and we're all looked at as the same being, when we all have different DNA and different needs. And especially when you come into different backgrounds, different environments, that also is something we need to consider, and age. And so I think it's also something we are used to, is being looked at as all just one design, when that's not the case.
Okay.
Yeah. Because the problem is, as you mentioned, they fall into the one design. They fall into the cookie cutter type of treatment.
Cookie cutter.
Everybody goes to the same, and there's no difference from one treatment to the other. And they will go and do the little show with a camera and maybe a TV screen and maybe a computer system and maybe an AI system. And unfortunately, just to sell you the same treatment that they sold the last person before you.
Yeah.
And that's unfortunate. That's unfortunate. What's your take, Biz?
Yeah, like the thing that I had an example, exactly what you just said. The other day, a lady that she just survived chemotherapy, right? Mm-hmm. And her hair she lost a lot of her hair, obviously, during the time, and she's trying to get it back. And she told me that I'm going to buy Nutrafol to fix my hair loss. I said, that is great. Nutrafol is a very good multivitamin and it has a blend of adaptogens in it that is really, really good for your nervous system and everything else. However, you went just through a chemotherapy right now. That means it affected all your body. It affected all your gut. So the person who told you, and it was a doctor, I think it was a dermatologist who told her, take the Nutrafol. That person who told you to take a Nutrafol and it's going to fix your chemotherapy, anagen effluvium, hair loss, that's not going to happen. Nutrafol is a good supplement for a person to prevent hair loss, or you did a treatment plan and you want to maintain your hair, right? But that is not the root cause. What is the root cause of your hair loss? I was asking her, what did it start? She's like, due to chemotherapy. I said, okay, what chemotherapy? I was trying to let her kind of try to switch her thinking. What does chemotherapy do to your cells? It kills the good and the bad. So it killed your gut. So now we need to recreate your gut flora. We need to make sure that your system, like your whole body, that has no nutrient deficiencies in it. You went through a lot. Your body went through a lot of physical trauma. Nutrafol alone is not going to help it. we need to reverse all this trauma first, bring your hair back to good anagen phase, strong enough to survive everything, then you can take Nutrafol. See the difference between like a quick fix mindset. And so her doctor, I don't know, I'm not sure it's a dermatologist, but she asked that doctor, and they just gave her a quick fix. Nutrafol is good for your hair. But the problem, her problem in particular, was way bigger than like a quick fix. So when I explained it to her this way, it's like, yeah, makes sense. See?
The problem is that, you come to an understanding with a patient when you go through a consultation about the things that are necessary, the things that are needed to move forward, that sometimes it's not just a simple thing. And sometimes it is, but in order to understand that, you need to go through the process of the consultation. This is why you hire a trichologist, because we are the detectives. We are the hair detectives. We find out what it is.
Right?
Yeah.
And we use Nutrafol. I'm not saying that. Yes, sorry.
No, I love Nutrafol, but even in the case like that, I understand, for instance, that Nutrafol is too heavy on the stomach. If you haven't taken Nutrafol, Nutrafol is a great supplement. I use it every day. But let me tell you, Nutrafol is heavy on your stomach. So you need to have a strong stomach, or at least have a good, healthy gut in order to take Nutrafol.
And people with chemotherapy, they don't have healthy guts. They can't even absorb it.
No, they start taking Nutrafol right then and there. They're going to start feeling sick on their stomach, because it is too strong for the weak stomach.
There's a saying, and it's funny, my doctor and I always talk about this, is that, you have your brain, you have one brain. We actually have two brains. We have our gut. Our gut is also a brain, and we forget that. And when your gut is stressed, it doesn't know how to distribute the needs of the body, and it pulls out the wrong waste. And so the stuff that nutrients needs, it will throw it out as waste. Common for people with Crohn's and celiac disease is why we lose hair and get sick so often. It's because the gut is so stressed, it doesn't know where to pull from. And so and that's for everybody. When your gut is under so much stress, it doesn't know what to do. It's sick. And when you're sick, you're lethargic and you got the dumps. Our gut does the same thing. Yeah, it's important.
Mm-hmm.
Very important, guys. Now, I want to move into, the type of things that we need to do. Okay, I understand that I'm suffering from hair loss. Where do I go next? What do I do? What are the things that I need to be paying attention to? So what are some of the common questions that you would ask, Biz, to someone who's starting, right? When they go to their hair loss process, what are some of the things that people need to be paying attention to? What will you say to them?
So my first question will be like, how's your hair? When did your hair loss start? Like, when did you realize that you starting to having more hair shedding per day than usual? That's my first question. My second question is, what happened during this time when you start losing your hair? Did you change your diet? Did you have a medical condition? Did you have a stressful event, and so on? And then I will ask, just to rule out genetic factor, I'll ask about their mom and dad hair loss or like hair situation. See, so I can start narrowing it down. And then we talk about diet, we talk about gut health, we talk about their hair care practices. How many times they wash their hair. So a lot of people, to my surprise, in Florida, in this humid weather, they don't wash their hair except once a week. In humidity, and you don't wash your hair once a week, seborrheic dermatitis is like, woo. It's like, woo.
Yep.
And
it's gonna jump
there
right
is
up.
a myth, right? There's a myth between people. It's like, oh, I don't wash my hair because every time I wash it, I'm going to lose more hair. And we talked about this before. That's a complete wrong statement. You don't lose your hair because you're washing it. It's actually the other way around. You're losing it because you're not washing it enough. So, and also when we talk about all the triggers or the environmental factors, or what we call it, the epigenetics, I start asking questions about internal factors in a way that, how is your relationship with yourself? How much this hair loss is affecting your mental health? Because these are very important questions, especially for guys, for men. We think that men hair loss doesn't affect them. We think it's just the emotional creatures are only women, and because we care so much about our appearance, when we have hair loss, we go through this trauma. Believe it or not, men is exactly the same, but men, they don't show it to us. We just show it more. That's all. It's exactly the same. Like how much this is affecting your mental health. Because if you are stressed out and if you don't think and you're constantly thinking about the situation, it's going to actually worsen your hair loss. And one thing is also very important is how much you want to stop your hair loss, or how much you want to regrow your hair. Because also that perspective, like how much they gonna adhere to the treatment plan, is very, very important. Now I can give you a lecture from now till tomorrow about your gut health. If you're gonna go home and don't do anything about it, it's just waste of my time and your time, right? How much you believe that hair loss starts from within. Some people's like, no, give me a serum. Well, no, let's talk more, right?
Yeah.
No, give me this pill or that pill. It's like, okay, then sit down, let's talk more. Let me explain to you why your hair loss is directly related to the health of your whole system. And also the third factor that's very important is believing in you as a trichologist. If they don't believe in you, it's never going to work. They have to believe in that everything you are saying are coming from a true science, from a true education, and then you know what you're talking about. Because they can easily dismiss everything you're saying. And our job as trichologists is very, very hard because it has so many factors into it. And even though we as trichologists, experienced trichologists, we keep asking each other because nobody is 100% experienced in every single thing. Right? Mm-hmm. So I have a new client that there's something is I can't help them with. I'm going to go ask Sergi. I'm going to go ask Carrie. I have to build up my information. Even us as trichologists, we have to keep an open mind about learning more, because every single medical condition in the books causes hair loss.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. And as you mentioned, asking the right questions can always lead us to the right place and understanding what it is that we need to do. Now, there's another question here, and I want to ask you, Carrie. It's the difference between what is needed to be done and what I'm willing to do.
Ooh.
Because we go through the consultation, right, and we are asking the right questions, and we know where we need to go. But are people willing to do the things that they need to be doing?
How much are you willing to?
Yeah, and on your own, without a care. Like, as a detective, as a trichologist, even your own doctor, we give you the answers. Here you go. This is what you need to do. But then everybody expects their hand to be held, and they don't want to do the work. They want it to be that quick fix and done for them. And, you don't come through the other end unless you do that work. That's with everything. A crash diet, homework, school. You do the quick fix, it's going to all crumble or not work in the end. So you need to do the work. Take accountability.
Right. And you need to have the will to do it.
Yeah.
And the will to do it.
You have to have the will to do it. Be accountable for yourself. Here's the answers. Now do it. Now, if you want somebody to hold your hands, that's when you pay for a coach. The coach will hold your hand. You pay them and respect their time. You respect their time to coach and hold you through it and guide you. But don't get mad at them because you weren't accountable to take that action and do anything with it. And then blame everybody else but yourself.
Ouch. And that's the hard truth. That's the hard truth. Whenever we talk about hair care, it's a lifelong commitment. Whenever we talk about hair care, it's about lifelong commitment. It's a lifestyle. Because you have to understand, what embodies to have great hair. It embodies your general health, your dieting, your lifestyle, your hair care routines. So anything that you're adding to you topically, anything that you're putting in your body, anything that is not coming out of your body, because if you're accumulating toxins, that's a whole nother thing. So all of those things have a lot to do with how your hair and your scalp reacts. So understanding those issues are key in order to keep your hair. And let me tell you guys, we administer a group, right? And this group of people, amazing group of people, and unfortunately, one of the many things that we see, especially on the new ones, every time a new one comes into the group, they'll be like, "Okay, I'm losing my hair. I need a quick fix. I need to understand how to get this over with." You need to understand that there's a lot of people in this group who have been suffering for hair loss for years, and they understand that there's no way that you're gonna get a quick fix out of it. All right, because sometimes issues get complicated. Why? Because life gets complicated, and people be like, "But I never had this before." Well, you never had 20 years before. Right. Now you're 20, and now you're 30. Well, now I'm 50. Well, guess what? It's all new today. So
right. Every day
we are aging. We are aging. So we need to get a couple of seconds back, we were talking about the fact that I'm now allergic to seafood, when seafood was my thing. But
and you live on an island. That's unfair.
Not truly unfair. Living on an island, not be able to live off the sea. Hey, but the thing is, as we get older, things change, and we cannot expect to be living the same way that we used to. And our hair definitely is a testament of that, because our hair changes as our body changes. And the different needs that we experience today are not going to be answered to by the same things that we used before. For instance, when talking about shampoos and conditioners, are you going to be using the same shampoo conditioners that you used when you were a teenager? Heck no. There's no way you're going to be able to do that, because your body's changing. So your need changes. You need to start using the products and the foods that your body needs at that particular moment. So it's not a fix, something that you're going to be using forever. And that's one of the things that I like to tell to my patients. When you're coming into the clinic, and this is the treatment that I'm recommending to you. Now, understand, this is not for the rest of your life. And people will love to hear that this is the only thing that you're going to be using for the rest of your life and you're going to be fixed. No, that's not going to happen. We're going to be transitioning into the process as you progress. Or if you digress and you keep lagging you and dragging your feet into the process, then you're going to be stuck in the same process in the same area for a long time. But if you move forward and you become disciplined in the process, of course you're going to be seeing great results. But don't ever fall for the trap of believing that a quick fix is going to help you or move you to the next level, because it's not going to happen. You will see maybe some immediate relief, because sometimes if it is a scalp situation, you may see some relief. Now, is relief a solution or a cure? Hell no.
It's good, but
if you want some relief, by all means, all right. But remember, whenever you experience relief from maybe a scalp situation, or even maybe hair loss, understand that if you are not addressing the culprit, it's going to go back. So you start using, for instance, a hair loss shampoo, whatever that means, because there's no hair loss shampoo, true hair loss shampoo. But the thing is that you use it and you experience that for some reason your hair shedding diminishes. Bravo. But is it treating the culprit? What really causes, what really is driving my hair loss? No. So unless I tackle that shampoo is going to be good for a couple of weeks before you start seeing the shedding again. So don't fall for the trap. Don't fall for the trap. All right. we have only a couple seconds left before we go. Biz, any last words and any advice, Carrie, that we want to share to our viewers at this time? Because they are right now looking at us very mad because we just told them that there's no quick fixes for them. So what can you say to them?
I can say something. I can say, look at your hair loss that as a blessing in disguise, because hair loss is a way of God telling you that there's something wrong inside your body. Otherwise, you won't see it, because we do have chronic diseases that we don't feel the symptoms of it. And this is one of the ways that God is trying to tell us, stop, look at your life and all aspects of your life, your diet, your environment, your mental health, your triggers, your emotions, your traumas, everything. Stop, look at them, examine them, try rearrange everything in your life, look at your life from a new perspective, then your hair loss will stop. However, you need a trichologist to help you link between the physical and the mental and the hair loss piece. That's why it will be a great idea to ask somebody to help you figure all this out, because at that moment you will be super and extremely overwhelmed. You need an experienced hand to help you. When people go to general doctor or dermatologist or all kind of things, they are trained to fix it. You don't need to be fixed. You need to look back at everything that is happening in your life, why this whole thing is causing your hair loss, fix your whole self, then everything will be okay.
So amen to that. Carrie.
Yeah, exactly what Basan said. And it starts with you. It's not a one-size-fits-all world. And, it's the detectives that are helping you. And, you don't know what you don't know, because sometimes you're so used to living a certain way, you don't know it's not correct. And I am example of this. I had celiac. I didn't get diagnosed until I was 28. And I thought the way I lived my life was normal.
Yeah.
Until somebody pointed it out. That is not how my gut health should be. And, you don't know what you don't know.
Yeah. I was bloated for all my life. I thought bloating is a normal thing to have. I didn't know that bloating is really a gut problem, but I had it so chronically, I thought bloating is part of life.
Yeah.
That's why we have to say, it's time to stop. Hey, what's that sound? Everybody know what's going.
Nice.
Hey,
nice.
You gotta stop. You gotta stop every once in a while, guys. And you need to see what's really going on before you start buying products and start doing crazy things. And again, if you want to go to your hairstylist and do any of these Japanese treatments or do any exfoliation and hair treatments, they're nice. They're nice. They're excellent. I mean, we teach those stuff, and I'm teaching it to many hair salons. That's great, but is it a cure? Not necessarily. It's just part of something that if you combine together all the proper knowledge, it will lead you to a right treatment plan. But hey, you need to stop. Listen to the psychologist here at the Hair Wire. And we hope that you guys pay attention to what we're saying and you get smart, you get hair smart with the people here at the Hair Wire. We hope to see you next week. God bless you all. Till then, bye-bye, guys.